Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in!
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Sacker down by the end line. Puts us across. Lose your eye! And just like that, 1-1. Now Elders may look to take a shot. He does, and he buries it! Steps up, and just like that, Reed Dennis comes up big. Lose your eye, 1-on-1. Lose your eye. Oh, he'll be taken down inside the box.
Knocks back in. Nationals got it. Bicycle kick for a goal!
Now Sacker. Sacker into the 18. Sacker shot. That goes off the goalkeeper's glove into the net. 2-1 here in the 32nd. This one played in. That's a good ball. And that one goes in. And just like that, the Nationals now have a 1-0 lead. Walensky puts his far post. One-touch opportunity. And what a great goal that was.
Joaquin Beatty of Ohio League.
Look at that shot from Sevi Roy. My goodness, Sevi Roy with a left-footed banger.
We are the MHSAA, a collection of 750 high schools and 750 middle schools, from Temperance to Copper Harbor, from New Buffalo to Alpena. Each year, more than 250,000 students play one of our 28 sports. More than 1.5 million fans attend our postseason games. There are 30,000 coaches and 8,000 officials, not to mention all of the volunteers. The MHSAA believes in the 4 S's. School sports should be safe and kept in the appropriate scope. We believe nothing beats great sportsmanship, and that scholarship in the classroom is more important than excellence on the field or court. Most of all, we believe school sports should be fun. So come out and join us at a game. Support your school, support your community, and come see what the excitement is all about.
Northwestern is up from 12, now at 10.
Voice of Michigan Student Athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic students can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stand should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
And be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports.
And respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while maintaining a high level of respect for all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
Are you looking to take your game to the next level? Did you know that MSN is now offering player recruitment videos? Our packages include a player profile where you show your preferred positions, the club, the league, or school that you play in, your current coach contact information, and more. The highlight videos could be self-submitted, 15 to 30 clips that will be put into a 3 to 7 minute long video.
In for Baccarat, and that goes in. Hugo Baccarat gives Flint City a 3-2. Buckley, oh, the ball falls to Buckley. One-on-one with Etheridge. What a save! Welcome into the first ever MSN All-State Media Day for girls soccer. Jonathan Turner alongside Dan Stickrett. Ball comes in, a good hit! 1-0. Shot, another save from Etheridge. Rebound, and it goes in the back of the net. The Bulldogs up 1-0. Burzma, but then for Vlasma. 3-0. Stewart Heiss with a shot. Upper 90 and in. Effectively today here on the Michigan Soccer Network, we are launching our new division of player recruitment videos. Mario Canoe now finds Stock. Stock's got a left-footed banger. He shoots it, and it's in! The Red Hawks equalize!
The column is Brother Rice coming in 4-5-1 on the season. Took a tough loss to De La Salle yesterday, 3-1. While Hartland coming in 4-2-2 on the year. They took down a huge team, one of the top teams in our rankings, Plymouth, 2-1 on Thursday night.
Hartland in a major rebuilding year. You know, Alex, they graduated 20 of their 25 varsity lettermen from last season. Only had one starter back. But they're 4-2-2, and they picked up a huge upset over a very experienced, previously undefeated squad in Plymouth. Plymouth was in the top 5 in Division I the first 3 weeks of the season. So that is a great win for them. That will make that division even tougher. That is the KLAA West Division, where Northville, the #1 team in Division I, sits atop the table there. Birmingham Brother Rice has kind of been a little bit of all over the map. They seem to be good one day and then a little bit inconsistent the next. They lost to Warren De La Salle last night, and they actually lost the game to Rochester Stony Creek earlier in the week. So Brother Rice looking to snap their 2-game skid and get back on the winning track, and Hartland looks to continue its impressive play to start the 2024 campaign, where a lot wasn't expected of the Eagles.
Yeah, especially with the competition that both these teams play. Brother Rice playing in the Catholic League Central Division and Hartland playing in the KLAA West, two of the strongest divisions in the entire state of Michigan. And when you're able to have these non-conference games, it gives you a good testament of what each conference brings to the table and gives yourself some momentum when you get back into conference play till the next week.
Yeah, again, they don't play in very, very deep conferences, a lot of history with some of the schools coming out of those leagues. I mean, Birmingham Brother Rice has been a multitude of Final Fours. We look at their colleagues, Novi, Detroit Catholic Central. You know, Detroit UD Jesuits had a couple deep runs. They made a surprise run to the Elite A last year. They won the Division I title back in 2001. So that is a very good league. And then Hartland has been in the West Division since the KLAA was formed about 15 years ago. That came out of the old Western Lakes Activities Association, and the Kensington Valley Conference merged So closer to 2 decades ago, but that is an absolute gauntlet as well. And the Central Division of the Catholic High School League became even deeper last year with the infusion of 3 Toledo, Ohio schools that were their conference disbanded, and they moved north into Michigan territory to join that league. So both these teams will be very, very well battle tested come the MHSAA districts in mid to late October. Their schedules are very difficult. See both teams lining up here. Handshakes.
As we get ready in just a few moments here as the starting lineups are being announced for both teams, and great one on our hands. As we mentioned, Hartland coming off a huge win against one of the top teams in the state in their division, against Plymouth, rather 2-1 in that game, and then Brother Rice losing 3-1 to De La Salle on yesterday, rather, as we see here now was the Hartland starters being introduced.
Number 17, Braden Hilborn. Number 18, Hayden Wilson. Number 19, Brendan Austin. Number 23, Austin Buck. Your goal game number 1, Chris Homan. And 28, Jeffrey Stipe. The Hartland Eagles are coached by Andrew and Mike King. Now for your Brother Rice Warrior. Number 0, Ben Bingham. Number 1, Max Lumage. Number 2, Dominic Kretschmer. Number 3, Ben Garrity. Number 4, Alex Rondo. Number 5, Henry Zanow. Number 6, Nicholas Ozzie. Number 7, Ethan Brown. Number 8, Camden Thornton. Number 9, Hunyan Yu. Number 10, Ryan Hayes.
Alrighty, as we get the starting lineups introduced for both teams as Brother Rice is getting ready. Hartland in their white jerseys here today. Brother Rice in their black with their logo in the center. Just joining us here, Alex Johnson, Dan Stickrat on the call here for you this afternoon. The Brother Rice Warriors and the Hartland Eagles in a non-conference matchup here on this Saturday afternoon, live from Brother Rice High School.
Number 19, Nick Alexandre.
One of the key players to look out for Hartland has been Avery Bryan, their forward, a junior. Scored 2 goals in that game against Plymouth on Thursday night. Is one of the key pieces for that Eagles squad all season long.
Yeah, in the back line of Hartland, look for Daniel Tennis. He was an all-league first team and all-district performer last season when they had 20 seniors on their roster. Tennis is the only player black earned any type of postseason honors a year ago. He's the kind of the anchor of the back line for Hartland as they have reloaded all but 5 players, so they only had 5 players back from last season, Avery Bryan being a junior forward and captain. Paulo Golash, also a junior forward. Those players return as well. Austin Buff, senior center back. And captain, he played on the varsity last season. So there are not a ton of players back for Hartland. They've done reasonably well here in the early 3 weeks of the 2024 campaign.
Yeah, take a look at Brother Rice. They have a lot of key pieces from last season returning. A lot of seniors on this team. We mentioned there's a lot of key players and all players around with their goalkeeper, Ben Bingham, and his defenseman, Ben Garrity. Some of their other forwards in there. You got Ethan Brown, Camden Thornton, Nicholas Ozzie in there, and Anthony Mancani. So they have a really deep core up there over at Brother Rice, just trying to get over the hump. They've had some early on some key wins throughout the course of the season. I mentioned they lost their last couple games to De La Salle and Stony Creek this past week, but they took down a 3-0 win over Brighton last Saturday.
And Brighton was your Division I state runner-up a year ago, but with Devlin McGinnis, the senior forward who was a Mr. Soccer finalist as a junior. He has been in and out of the lineup. He played in part of their first game of the season when they lost to Northville 6-0. He couldn't give it, he tried to give it a go, couldn't, and they have missed his services. And Brighton struggling for the first couple weeks of the year. They did lose to Brother Rice. They lost a few other league games as well, but McGinnis is supposed to be back here sometime in mid-September.
Thank you.
So that's still a quality win. Brighton's one of those teams that you won't know it by their record because they took a bunch of losses the first 3 weeks of the season. But later in the year when they get a lot of their players back, they could be a team you do not want to face in the postseason. Birmingham Brother Rice is down in D2, so they wouldn't have to worry about a team like Brighton. But Brother Rice will have to run a gauntlet as well. You have several good teams in their district, and if they can get out of that very difficult district, they would face some very good teams in the regional as well. So just navigating the regular season to try to get prepared for the state tournament. Neither of these teams will have an easy path to go anywhere in the postseason. I'm not saying they couldn't win a district championship. Both these teams very well could. I'm saying it's just a very difficult path. Because a lot of these districts, especially in Division I and Division II, there are so many teams that are so close to each other in talent, it's really hard to predict the winner.
Yeah, absolutely. Brother Rice over in the Avondale district, District 28. We got Avondale, who has been one of the top teams in Division II all season long. We got Cranbrook, who's been a powerhouse team in the Catholic League. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, Holly, Pontiac, and Waterford Kettering in their district. And then for Hartland, well, they have a strong district they'll have to play as well. So take a look at what they would have to bring. Oh, they would have to play Brighton out at Brighton, and East Lansing, Howell, Lansing, Everett, Milford, and Okemos in their district. They're District 5 in Division I.
Yeah, Milford is off to their best start in program history. They're one of the top teams in that Lakes Valley Conference. Okemos has a great history. They're 2021 Division I state champs. They were down a little bit last year, a rebuilding year, but they're on their way back up. East Lansing, they have been a multitude of Final Fours over the years. They've won several state championships, runners-up. So that's another quality program. Holly is playing the best soccer they've played in over a decade. So, and then Waterford Kettering's kind of been the story of Division II. They're one of the top teams in that Lakes Valley Conference and off to their best start in their program history. So both these teams, to win a district championship, they're going to probably have to beat 2 or 3 really good teams.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be. As we're just underway here at Brother Rice High School. Glad to have you with us here. As it's back over to the back line for the Eagles. That's Zane King, midfielder in the defensive spot for Hartland, taken away by the Warriors for a second. Knocked down on the play, Nicholas Ozzie, one of the senior leaders on this team. As Hartland just moves it around in their zone. King. There's a touch over to midfielder and forward junior Caden Wilson. The defensive captain on this team, Austin Buff, with it as it's back near midfield and taken over by the Warriors. Chasing that one down, Dominic Krutzmer. Going all the way back. Some tight defense by Paulo Jolai.
Dominic Krutzmer is one of the returning starters for Birmingham Brother Rice. One of their anchors. Of course, Danny Price, the Brother Rice coach, had a lot of success at Birmingham Marion. They got all the way to the Division II state championship match back in late June. They finished as a state runner-up, dropping that game to Spring Lake, which is out near Muskegon. That was a very, very potent team, very quality, and they'll bring a lot of players back. So Danny Price, who also coaches in the Liverpool club organization, very successful coach at different levels.
Yeah, Marion always been a strong team on the girls' side in Division II. All the state championships they've won over the last 10, 15 years.
Really since about 2000, they have been an absolute juggernaut in terms of they're ranked almost every year. They've been to, I think they've won 9 state championships, been to a couple other runners-up, a few other Final Fours. you know, a year and a half ago, they got upset in that regional semifinal. Danny Price was coaching, and they lost Rose Point North, which was unranked, and they made it all the way and actually captured the state championship. That's soccer sometimes. You don't have to dominate and control a game to come through and win when it matters most.
You know, foul called against Brother Rice, and anything can happen in these playoffs coming up in just about a month or so. And, you know, just the one game, and you can have a great regular season, but in that one moment, things can go against you and end your season, like what happened a few years ago again for Marion. And these teams looking to make a huge playoff run, like I said, just about mid-October.
It's funny, Alex, you mentioned that, you know, that was an upset, but every year, boys and girls soccer, there's always a couple of either pre-district or district semifinal games where you think a team's had a great season, they're favored to win that game, or maybe even favored to win their district. They come out a losing end. Soccer can be a strange game. You could be outshot 25-5 and lose 1-0.
And it can happen here as Brother Rice on a chase that one down. Sliding in there is Nolan Szymanski on Ryan Hayes, who's going out in there. He gets back up.
Looks like the whistle was blown. Is this outside or inside the box? Looks like it could be a penalty kick coming up.
The officials organizing things up. They're stopping the clock, and it will be a penalty kick. Anthony Mancati going to be taking it here.
Mancati, an all-Catholic and all-district selection in 2023. Heads over to the penalty spot, so a great chance here in the 5th minute.
There's that one shot, and right through. Right down the center. Anthony Mancati makes it 1-0 Warriors here in the 5th minute. Fooled the goalkeeper for Hartland, Trip Tanyan that time.
So first shot attempt, first shot on frame. The penalty kick goes into the back of net, and Anthony Mancati puts the Warriors up 1-0. And, you know, that's a great confidence boost when you're coming off of 2 losses to Warren De La Salle, Rochester, Stony Creek. Your confidence could be a little bit down, but an early goal can do wonders for a team. And Hartland is as good as their start has been at 4-2-2. And again, that's a great conference. They pulled a huge upset, but they do have a lot of young players. They do have 10 juniors and 6 sophomores on the varsity roster, just 5 seniors, and just 1 starter returning for Hartland. So when you have a young team with a mostly first-year varsity performers, we'll see how Hartland reacts here going down 1-0 in the 5th minute.
Yeah, exactly not what you wanted to have in mind, especially, you know, having a statement win like that against one of the top teams in Plymouth just a couple of nights ago. As that one gets out of play, going to be a goal kick here. Chip Tanyan, the captain behind the pipes for Hartland. Looking to recover after allowing that penalty kick goal in the 5th minute by Anthony Mancati.
So Trip Tanyan conceded that penalty kick goal. He is one of the 5 returnees for Hartland.
And they're going to call a foul on Nicholas Ozzie. Call for tripping up Paulo Jolai of Hartland. Hartland trying to get into the attacking third. They're trailing 1-0 here, approaching the 8th minute. Line drive kick, headed up. Good stop by Carlos Naum. This shot goes right over to the goalkeeper of the Warriors.
Brother Rice has a lot of history in that program. They were a state runner-up back in 1985 and 1988. That was back when it was Class A. They were in 2021. They were the state runner-up.
There's a lot of history for these programs, especially with Brother Rice.
And the Warriors, I believe, they also won a state title. I think it was in 2000. So there's been a lot of deep runs by Brother Rice. Don't get me wrong; they've played in a lot of very tough districts. And that's just the thing. Like so many coaches, Alex, they talk about, it's all about the state tournament. But if you have 8 schools in your district and 7 of those schools have winning records and 6 schools are ranked or have been ranked during the regular season, it's very difficult. And any way you twist and turn it, everyone knows there's only one team that's going to march on to the regional level. So you could have a great season and then you realize that you're going to have to beat 3 ranked teams to win your district. And the odds are kind of stacked up against any team that has to go through that. I mean, even teams that are ranked number 1 in the state sometimes will have to win 3 very difficult games to win a district. And sometimes even some of the best teams in the state, they have one off night or just one off play, and their season's done. So, Brother Rice has had some great teams over the years that maybe necessarily didn't even win a district. And they found out the hard way 2 years ago where they went down 2 men against Auburn Hills Avondale, and Avondale had actually winning that district semifinal match over Brother Rice.
Almost turning over deep in their end. Who's got a whistle called? Looks like it's against Brother Rice.
A little shoving here going on in the middle of the box. I don't know if this is a penalty kick or what the referee whistled.
Everything's just officials.
The referee grabs the ball. He walking out of the penalty box.
It's just going to be right near the penalty box, a free kick.
It's right on the line at the top of the box, but nevertheless, still a great opportunity coming up with the set piece for Hartland. 18 yards out, so we'll see if they have anyone who can bend the ball around the box or if they take a short free kick and try to put one into a goalmouth scrum.
And that one off, and good save by Ben Bingham of the Warriors. King just soft tapped it over to one of his teammates to pull off a shot.
Bingham, a returning starter for Brother Rice. That ball kind of snuck through low through that wall, and he was able to corral that shot. It looked almost like it almost squirted through his legs. He was able to stop the shot before it crossed the line. So Brother Rice escapes danger on that set piece.
Coming through and early on in this game, as Hartland just looks to continue to attack. Jolie dumps that one down all the way to Bingham. As looked like there was some contact on Matthew Burris. Looks like that's not, and they're going to call him. There's going to be a yellow card issued. And now the referee's talking with Bingham.
So number 3, Matthew Barris, a junior for Hartland, got the yellow, but now another yellow comes out to number 10.
Looks like if it's on Hartland, that's Avery Bryan.
So 2 yellows issued. I'm not exactly sure if there was there was a little bit of a contact, but perhaps a yellow card for dissent as well, as players from both sides have been a little bit argumentative here in the first 11 and a half minutes of this game. Now the referee's over in front of the benches talking to the coaches. The game getting a little bit chippy.
You don't want to have that edge of just having that chippiness, in the early stages of the game, especially after surrendering that early goal on the penalty kick. If you're Hartland, just
now you get a chance to cover a lot of levels of baseball as well. Alex, you do some minor league baseball here in the state of Michigan, but a lot of times in that sport, it's more or less you likely would see either the manager or maybe a pitcher argue with an umpire. In soccer, where we got 22 players running around the field and coaches can get quite animated on the sideline, you often see players start arguing with referees. And our broadcast director, Jonathan Turner, You know, he was a game official here in Michigan for soccer for close to 2 decades, and you're not going to win a lot of arguments when you're arguing with officials and umpires, whatever sport the case is. You're just simply not going to win an argument, yet it still goes on. Sometimes it gets a little bit comical, but sometimes games can get out of hand in a hurry on the soccer pitch where, you know, the shoving starts up, the arguments start coming from the coaches and players. This is, again, another delay here as the referee is talking to Andrew Kartsinas, the Hartland head coach there in the red cap. Definitely some language being exchanged between the coach and the head official.
Yeah, Kartsinas, the longtime head coach over at Hartland, and building both programs over on the girls' side as well. Have had some success over the last few years.
Yeah, Hartland was your 2021 champion in Division I for girls soccer this past spring. They got all the way to the finals. Had one of their best players get hurt late in the regular season. But they still made that run. They were the state runner-up to Rochester Adams back in late June. So Kartsinas has had a little bit of a juggernaut. On the girls' soccer side, not so much in the boys' soccer in terms of long tournament runs, but again, a lot of it goes down to what district you're in and who else is good in your district and what kind of draw you get. There's so many factors. Not to say that Hartland hasn't been good. I know they got to, I believe, the regional finals back in about a decade ago.
Going to get back there is got a whistle called against Hartland. And it was a good play on the last attempt as King's shot was blocked by Ben Garrity of the Warriors as it went out of play. Now this one will go as well, approaching the 15th minute. And this 1-0 lead for Brother Rice. Penalty kick goal in the 5th minute by Anthony Mancani. It's been a difference maker here so far. It's just a quick turnaround for Brother Rice after falling to De La Salle, our top team in Division II in our latest poll. Well, for the past week, we'll see the Rakin show tomorrow with you, Dan, and Giovanni Mosheri at 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Looking forward to that. Last week, because of extraneous circumstances, we weren't unable to deliver the live show. We did post the rankings at around 9 p.m. last Sunday, but Giovanni Mosheri and myself, Dan Stickrad, we will be in the studio in Shelby Township from 8 to 9 p.m. tomorrow, looking at the top 15 teams, plus honorable mention in one of the 4 divisions.
Yeah, Hartland looking to make their case here if they're able to get back and beat this Brother Rice team that they've been going after it all game long here so far. As we got Elijah Savage forward for Hartland wanted the whistle, and it looked like he got pushed.
So this looks like the first corner kick of the match coming up for the Eagles.
It's going to be Caden Wilson on the left side.
Wilson, one of those 10 juniors on the Hartland roster.
It's a line drive kick. It looked like headed by the Warriors, by Bencati. And that one goes over. Oh, the padding above the net, out of play.
You know, Hartland last year, they finished 7-9-3 overall, Alex. They were 6-6-2 in that KLAA West, which was an absolute gauntlet. So they tied for 5th out of 8 teams in that league. But over the course of the season, they were outscored 41-31. They only had 2 shutouts, and they were shut out 7 times. They had 20 seniors. This year, they have 6 sophomores on their roster, 10 juniors, and 5 seniors. So they're substantially younger, but they're off to a quality 4-2-2 start. Outscored the opposition 18-14 with 1 clean sheet. So that you have to ask yourself a question. Maybe they had just had better, more skilled players kind of waiting in the wings. They're off to a much better start than what a lot of coaches across the 2-division KLA projected here back at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, especially though how the quality opponents you play, especially when with the top teams, so they've played. They're going to be playing. No, they've played Northville, they played Brighton, they played Plymouth. A lot of the other teams that they play around here in the KLAA.
And Novi has a very good goalkeeper this year. Canton was down last year. They look like they're significantly more competitive. Plymouth Salem only brought 2 starters, but they're playing very well for a team that They were only back 6 kids that got substantial minutes last year, and 2 of those were starters. So that's one of those situations where teams in that league, they don't necessarily rebuild. In most cases, they just reload, and Salem's been able to do that.
As Brother Rice takes it away and just dumps it down the other side, looking for someone to get it to, and that's Ryan Hayes. Trying to chase that one down is Kellen Hughes, a freshman on the Warriors.
So Brother Rice, you know, they were the state runner-up in 2021. They were kind of a younger team, junior heavy. They were 500 going into that tournament. They made the run, got to the finals. I believe they lost. Was it Richland Gull Lake, perhaps? I know Gull Lake has won 2 titles here in the last half dozen years. But the year after that, they were ranked essentially all year. They had a huge senior class. You know, Josh Colpin, who's at University of Detroit Mercy right now, a Division I college soccer player. They had a host of other kids who went to D1, D2, D3, and NAIA schools. They're a very talented team, but they are unlucky. They lost that district semifinal to Auburn Hills Avondale, which I mentioned before. So you just never know what's going to happen in the state tournament. Both these teams will be very battle-tested. Both these teams do have some very talented players.
And it just shows, you know, especially with Brother Rice, you know, you see a lot of teams, especially in these divisions, that maybe not had the best regular season, you know, if they were in the 4th, 5th place team in their conference, but they're able to make a deep run in the playoffs. Oh, it just proves, you know, based on some of the other teams they played, they might have better records than you, but then the quality opponents they played might not be as strong. As Hartland just still looking to find the equalizer in this 20th minute. One down, Zane King right over to Bingham on a line drive shot.
Second save of the afternoon for Bingham. He's another returning starter for the Warriors. So Brother Rice does have a lot of experience. They do have a very quality sophomore as well, and Carlos Nayum, one of the outside marking backs for Brother Rice.
Had a phenomenal year as a freshman last season for the Warriors, and he was one of the players that you will look up, keeping an eye on us with him in this phenomenal freshman season. And
yeah, when I talked to Coach Danny Price in late August on the phone, we talked a lot about his team and some of the other teams at Catholic League really across the state. We talked about how much more difficult it is to win with all how much better club soccer's got over the years as well. There's so many more clubs. But
there's a shot up ahead that goes over into the trees. I apologize, Dan.
Well, there was a shot there. More important to me talking about soccer on the air. But yeah, Carlos Nayum was one of the. It's a very deep sophomore class across Michigan. There was a very high amount of freshmen, kind of unusual. They got all state or all district, all conference, different levels, whether it be all conference or honorable mention, all conference, all district honorable mention. But a lot of freshmen that did very well last year, even like Warren D. LaSalle, which is part of that Central Division of the Catholic High School League. Andrew Corder was an all-state first-team player for Warren D. LaSalle last year as a 9th grader, and he actually really started to pour it on the offensive end and during the second half of that season. I know we had a game this morning with Harbor Springs and Pontiac Notre Dame Prep. Harbor Springs has a great sophomore in Henry Janot, who's first-team All-State in Division IV last year. So a lot of these players that had really good freshman years across the state of Michigan in 2023 opted to return to their various high schools. I know there's always the temptation if you're a really good freshman. A lot of in-state and out-of-state MLS Next Academy teams will come calling.
It's just that difficult decision that what you make is, playing with your teammates, your friends in high school, or going on to that next stage, the MLS Next.
There was quite a few players who actually came back for one of those MLS Next programs across the state that are seniors and never actually played high school, or only maybe played their freshman year, went as a sophomore and junior, now they're coming back. But Drew Diebold on the west side of the state, he plays at Caledonia High School. 8th through 10th grade, he was with Midwest United's MLS Next team, and then as a junior, he was up with Columbus Crew Academy team. So just to give you an example, there's a player that's committed to the Michigan. Another foul just inside, right around the edge of the box.
Yeah, hustling that one down, getting there is Colin Dobbs. Right over behind there, it looks like that's Cameron Price, the sophomore. And there's somebody else in there as well.
The flagman, he did put up the flag, but the referee was 75 yards away from the play, and he's just walking over. So I'm not sure if they're going to give another penalty kick. That looked like it could have been inside the box. So the referees are going to have a little conversation. The ball is being put on the spot, so second penalty kick opportunity coming up for Brother Rice.
And it's going to be Mancani again. We'll see if Tomlin is ready for it. He didn't read it correctly that time. As Mancani again goes right through. Make that 2-0 Warriors. It's been all Mancani so far. Anthony Mancani has been sensational here.
He put those shots kind of up the gut both times. The Hartland keeper, Trip Tomlin, dove to his right. Mancani just puts it into the back, and then a lot of pace on those, both of those PKs. So Brother Rice, 3 total shots, 2 on frame. Both of those were penalty kicks. Both of those found the back of the net and up on the scoreboard. Birmingham Brother Rice over Hartland 2-0. We've only played about 24 minutes of soccer. Looks like Hartland's making a couple of substitutions.
Yeah, just being in this 2-0 hole is just not what you want to see here. There's still a lot of game left, and
1 and 2 goal leads are never easy to protect. All it takes is 1 goal, and the momentum can switch, and a team can get back into the contest. I've seen it thousands of times in my career as a journalist, where a team is up, 1-0 or 2-0 or 3-1, and next thing you know it, the game is tied, or the other team comes back and scores like 3 late goals and wins 4-3. Stranger things have happened. Now, this is a non-conference game on a Saturday in mid-September, so there's no overtime. There's no conference tournament or state tournament in effect, but it doesn't mean a team can't come back. This will be a great learning experience for a young Hartland team that lost 20 of its players from last year. Brother Rice has been a little bit inconsistent, so now they're playing with that 2-0 lead 25 minutes in.
they're going to have their first corner kick right over here. Is Nicholas Ozzie going to take it? As just bringing the energy, after it's been a tough week, both games on the road. Just looking to get back in the win column. Everyone's getting set here in the 26th minute, 2-0 Warriors. It's a low roller. A high shot again by Ben Garrity. That's the second time he sent that one over to the trees. And the setup here at Brother Rice, you got Marion High School right behind there. It's not like your traditional stands here where most schools don't play on their high school football field.
I went down to a tournament at Birmingham Brother Rice in August, I believe, in 2007. They hosted a bunch of schools here. I believe that's when this field was revamped.
And they have the complex right over there. They have the St. Regis Church and School on the other side. And they have the football field behind the soccer field here, the stand here at Brother Rice. And they were having freshman and JV football over there against Toledo CC, one of the new schools in the Catholic League, as Brother Rice was looking for an opportunity but kicked out of play by Hayes.
So a year ago you had Toledo Central Catholic. Toledo.
They're going to say it was off Hartland, so they're going to get another corner.
Toledo St. John Jesuit actually won the Catholic League Central Division and the Catholic League Tournament. They came back on Orchard Lake St. Mary's. That was a wild, wild game down at Riverview, Gabriel Richard, last October. St. John Jesuits, again, one of the better teams in the league. There's a lot of very good teams in that conference as well. So you saw De La Salle was actually, I believe, 6th out of 7th last year. And they made a run to the Final Four.
High and a header and into the goal. It looked like it did. But actually did not. It looked like they were celebrating
They were celebrating a little bit premature. Yeah, I don't think that ball actually crossed the goal line.
And I looked like it was headed into the goal. I didn't see the official signal it was a goal. That had to be really close. So now the official's talking over to the Hartland side. Is going to be a throw-in now after a little bit of a delay. And it looked like that was Nick Zielinski who had the header. Brother Rice thought it was a goal. The officials said no. So play went on, and that's fortunate for Hartland. Can't afford to go down 3 here, and you're not even at halftime as Ben Beanham picks it up.
So Hartland has to learn how to come back from a 2-0 deficit in the later stages of the first half. They actually knocked off top 5 Plymouth in a KLAA West Division matchup earlier in the week. Plymouth has been in the top 5. That's a very talented team. Spencer Prouty, their center back, is one of the best defenders in the entire state of Michigan. Hartland came through with a huge upset in conference play here just a couple days ago.
Hayes chasing that one down. And right behind him was Cameron Price. And Brother Rice is going to keep it here right near the corner, and it's going to be a throw-in. Approaching the 30th minute. 2-0 lead for Brother Rice. Both goals on penalty kicks by Anthony Mancani. Heading that one over is Hayes. Trying to get there is Garrity. I was trying to get it right near the doorstep.
So Hartland escapes danger on that. The ball is kind of bouncing around the box there for a good 10 seconds. Hartland defense able to clear it. Again, you do not want to go down 3-0 against a quality side. Birmingham Brother Rice has been a very worthy opponent this season. A little bit inconsistent overall, but very quality opponent. They're 4-5-1 this year. Sometimes that's a product of your environment when you do not play a schedule, a bunch of cupcakes. Brother Rice has never done that in its soccer history.
As Hartland attacks, and too much on that one by Avery Bryan, the man I've been talking about at the beginning of the broadcast, who had both goals in that game versus Plymouth. And we appreciate you watching this match here between Brother Rice and Hartland here on the Michigan Soccer Network, your home for soccer in the state of Michigan. Hit the subscribe button, like, and share with your friends and family.
I believe the offsides flag went up.
It looked like it did, yeah. So Hartland's going to take over here in the 32nd minute.
Confident-wise, Hartland's going to have to try to find a way to get some more shots off, maybe cut into that deficit. They conceded the 2 goals here in the first half, both on penalty kicks, both on the feet of Anthony Mancani. It's a little bit unlucky for Hartland that both of 2 of their 3 fouls came within inside the box.
They just got able to respond and haven't put a lot of pressure in this game yet so far, as Brother Rice has been able to pick at them here defensively, is trying to find an opening as Jolai, one of the captains on this team, is maneuvers his way through and slides into Dominic Kretschmer. And kicked. Was trying to check, getting that one back is Nick Zielinski. What they're going to call a goal kick.
The Hartland players are kind of jogging over like they thought they earned a corner kick on that play. Brother Rice gets the ball back on that left side.
Bryant, and gets one to go through. Avery Bryan. It's in the low part of the net. And just like that, it's a one-goal game.
Bryant carooms that ball off a steal, and he takes a couple touches and puts that into the back of the net in the 33rd minute. So fourth shot of the afternoon, third on frame, and Hartland is finally on the board. I just said momentarily, for Hartland's confidence, if they can get a goal back late here in the first half, that the momentum could switch. And they've been able to do just that.
Yeah, just forced a turnover. As Brother Rice, just wasn't really in position. They were just trying to send it down the field. It's not really a good pass, and Hartland took advantage of it, found their captain, Avery Bryan, and set one through the low part of the net as Beanham was way out of the box. And you desperately needed that. Now you're just looking to keep that way heading into the break. Is Garrity on the left side. Trying to get past Zane King. So we're in the 35th minute. A tapper of a pass from Ozzie back over to Hayes. And back near the center. Taken away by Matthew Barris. Couple of hops over to Braden Hilborn. It's getting interesting here in the last 5 or so minutes. Here in this first half. Hayes.
Another collision inside the box. The referee plays on.
Yeah, he thought he was fouled.
Brother Rice is looking for another penalty kick.
Garrity on a play as Hartland takes over. So now throw in here for Brother Rice. Trying to get that goal back here before half. So we're in the 36th minute. Over to the right, off the foot of Filippo Leone. It's a huge stop by Trip Tomian. It's going to result in a corner kick, though, for Brother Rice.
Tomian just got enough of a fingertip to redirect that ball out of the framework. Brother Rice is set for their second corner kick of the first half.
Now Garrity going to take it. Sends it over to Hayes. Not a lot of power on that one, but Hartland gets it back. Bryan right over near the Hartland bench. King. Over now as Hartland sends it all the way back into Brother Rice territory, kicked by Beanham.
You know, you look at Hartland's roster, I talked in the pregame how they had mostly first-year varsity players on the roster. They have those 10 juniors and 6 sophomores, so a bit of a younger team, but one of those 6 sophomores, number 14, Cameron Price, recognize the last name, as the son of Birmingham Brother Rice head coach Danny Price. A lot of connections between these two programs. I mentioned in the pregame that J. Lewis Prescott lived in Hartland. He was the Birmingham Brother Rice boys soccer coach for many years and long since retired, but Lewis Prescott lived in Hartland. His daughter played soccer at Hartland, so there's just been connections that go back over 25 years between these two programs.
Yeah, especially know what this means more. A father playing against his son.
In fact, J. Lewis Prescott was a longtime Brother Rice boys coach. He also coached the girls at Hartland. And that was back in the early 2000s. So they are playing today, Saturday, just outside of Birmingham, Michigan. Hartland able to trim into that deficit just a couple minutes ago. Brother Rice clinging to that 2-1 advantage here late in the first half.
Wilson over here to James Petrucci.
Brother Rice having a difficult time clearing the ball out of their third of the field. So we talked about momentum switches in sports. We saw that. Hartland scored that goal, and next thing you know, Hartland has been controlling play here the last 5 minutes. Do they have enough left in the tank to tie this game before the break?
Just that goal by Brian. All you needed as he gets tripped up. Going to be a free kick now. As Wilson in the right corner.
Referee walking over to move the Brother Rice players back and the ball back as well. He's going to cut off his 10 yards. Brother Rice kind of stalling. Let its defenders and midfielders reset. Still don't think that's about 10 yards. They've kind of inched their way up forward.
Wilson sends it over the wall, but gets headed by Ryan Hayes. The Eagles chase it back, but kicked out of play to the Brother Rice bench.
There's Danny Price in the background, the Brother Rice head coach. We zoomed in a couple minutes ago on Andrew Garcinas, the Hartland head coach. Neither of these gentlemen are strangers to the Michigan soccer community, coaching high school or club. Again, Danny Price is involved in the Liverpool International Academy, which is based out of Oakland County, but has numerous extensions down to Ann Arbor, up into North Oakland County as well. Legion's a team that another one of the clubs has been very successful here in the last few years.
It's 2-1 game. We're in the closing stages here of this first half. As Hartland will get it back to throw.
We just saw Andrew Garcinas, the Hartland head coach, in the background. The camera operator Ryan Gagnon zoomed in on Andrew just a few seconds ago. So we're in the final minutes of the first half.
Headed by Arnaldo Garcia of the Warriors. Chasant Isgardi, will he keep it in play? No, he will not. Hartland moving quickly based on the time left. Foul called on Wilson for knocking over Carlos Nahum. So free kick. Warriors looking to try to get one more on the board before half. Taken away by Barris. Gets past midfield. Circling back. Jolai gets it taken away. Mencani goes over to Leone. Sent out, Brother Rice throwing. Headed around, and Brother Rice trying to take possession. But Hartland gets a foot on it, trying to clear it away. And get to the back line of the Warriors. Zielinski boots it down the field, but Hartland able to get another foot on it as Wilson trapped near the out of bounds line. I would say off the Warriors. Looking for help and able to get it out. Brian pushed out by Mancani. Time is running out here in this first half. Brother Rice up 2-1. Brian was looking for Joli, but taking it away is Brother Rice. We have a tangle between Garrity and Wilson. And Wilson's not pleased with that. He doesn't like the call. Didn't think he deserved that foul.
The official's been having quite a few conversations with players from both sides out on the pitch here today.
Oh, Garrity over here to Garcia. Kick. Was trying to get there as Wilson, but he stepped out of bounds. With Rice looking to throw it in. And that is going to end the first half of play. It's been a good one here, Dan. Here at Brother Rice High School. 2-1 lead for the Warriors over the Eagles of Hartland here at half. Both of the goals by Anthony Mancani on the PKs in the 5th and 24th minute. And then Avery Bryan with cutting the deficit in half in the 33rd minute for Hartland.
It's been a very even game overall. Brother Rice has that 6-4 shots advantage and 4-3 on frame and 2-1 on corner kick. So we have a 2-1 advantage of Brother Rice heading into the break. Evenly match game at this point. We'll see if there's any changes in the second half. Should be coming up momentarily here in the Michigan Soccer Network.
Yeah, I appreciate you tuning in with us here today. We'll step aside for a moment and we'll be back for the second half. We're here on the Michigan Soccer Network. It's Brother Rice 2, Hartland 1.
Are you looking to take your game to the next level? Did you know that MSN is now offering player recruitment videos? Our packages include a player profile where you show your preferred positions, the club, the league, or school that you play in, your current coach contact information, and more. The highlight videos could be self-submitted, 15 to 30 clips that will be put into a 3 to 7 minute long video. Video review of your Huddle, VO, or other platforms that you might have video on, as well as for an additional charge, MSN can come out and film games for you to create those clips. Our coach evaluation process, which is also an additional charge, where we have college coaches from various levels across the United States that will review your game film and provide feedback on how to improve that film, as well as also evaluating your play and what you can improve on. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
I'm a husband. I'm a father.
I'm a sister.
I'm a son. I'm a brother.
I'm a daughter. I'm a sister.
I'm a referee.
I'm a referee.
I am a referee.
I'm a referee.
Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in!
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Sacker down by the end line. Puts us across. Lose your eye! And just like that, 1-1. Now Elders may look to take a shot. He does, and he buries it! Steps up, and just like that, Reed Dennis comes up big. Lose your eye, 1-on-1. Lose your eye. Oh, he'll be taken down inside the box.
Knocks back in. Nationals got it. Bicycle kick for a goal!
Now Sacker. Sacker into the 18. Sacker shot. That goes off the goalkeeper's glove into the net. 2-1 here in the 32nd. This one played in. That's a good ball. And that one goes in. And just like that, the Nationals now have a 1-0 lead. Walensky puts his far post. One-touch opportunity. And what a great goal that was.
Joaquin Beatty of Ohio League.
Look at that shot from Sevi Roy. My goodness, Sevi Roy with a left-footed banger.
We are the MHSAA, a collection of 750 high schools and 750 middle schools, from Temperance to Copper Harbor, from New Buffalo to Alpena. Each year, more than 250,000 students play one of our 28 sports. More than 1.5 million fans attend our postseason games. There are 30,000 coaches and 8,000 officials, not to mention all of the volunteers. The MHSAA believes in the 4 S's. School sports should be safe and kept in the appropriate scope. We believe nothing beats great sportsmanship, and that scholarship in the classroom is more important than excellence on the field or court. Most of all, we believe school sports should be fun. So come out and join us at a game. Support your school, support your community, and come see what the excitement is all about.
Northwestern is up from 12, now at 10.
Voice of Michigan Student Athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We were responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic students can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stand should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game. We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports.
And respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while maintaining a high level of respect for all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
Are you looking to take your game to the next level? Did you know that MSN is now offering player recruitment videos? Our packages include a player profile where you show your preferred positions, the club, the league, or school that you play in, your current coach contact information, and more. The highlight videos could be self-submitted, 15 to 30 clips that will be put into a 3 to 7 minute long video. Video review of your Huddle, VO, or other platforms that you might have video on, as well as for an additional charge, MSN can come out and film games for you to create those clips. Our coach evaluation process, which is also an additional charge, where we have college coaches from various levels across the United States that will review your game film and provide feedback on how to improve that film, as well as also evaluating your play and what you can improve on. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
Welcome back, everyone. It's a 2-1 lead for the Brother Rice Warriors over the Hartland Eagles here at Brother Rice High School. Alex Johnson and Dan Stickrad with you on the call here. It's been a great one here so far. Glad to have you with us here today. Just giving you a recap if you're just joining us. Goal start out in the 5th minute off a PK by Anthony Mancani, and then he scored again on another PK in the 24th minute. Then Hartland got a much-needed goal in the 33rd minute by their captain, Avery Bryan, who's coming off a phenomenal game in that win against Plymouth on Thursday night, trying to keep the Eagles in it. We'll see what both teams do here in the second half. And this one here, Dan, is, even though it's a non-conference game, you still want to have a win on your side and some momentum coming into next week when you get back into your conference play, which is by no means easy at all.
Both these teams are, again, in very difficult conferences. It's one of those situations where you can rarely take a night off. Hartland's off to a superb 4-2 start, considering that they graduate ton of players. And Birmingham Brother Rice coming off a 2-game losing streak, and they're up 2-1 here, hoping to snap that 2-game skid and come away with the non-conference victory. We'll see what happens here over there.
So Brother Rice will get the ball first here to start the second half as comes Dominic Krushmer in the back line for the Warriors as they just look to keep up and play their style of play. As they send it down, but it's going to be called offsides here to start.
So that's the second time in this match that Brother Rice has been whistled for offsides.
And they're going to call that one on Filippo Leone, the junior forward for the Warriors.
But it was a very evenly matched first half. Again, Brother Rice had a 6-4 total shots advantage and 4-3 on frame and 2-1 on corner kicks. But up in that scoreboard, the Warriors up over the Eagles 2-1. See if Hartland has made any adjustments in terms of their formation and their attack, or both teams will continue to do what they've done in the first half. And Hartland just looking for better fortunes. They only had 6 fouls against them in the first half, but 2 of those came inside the boxes.
And one takes a bounce over the fence.
And a few times the ball has sailed over in the Birmingham-Marion territory to the south.
Going to be a corner kick for Hartland early on here. 90 seconds into the second half. Wilson.
And this is Hartland's second corner kick overall in this game.
They're stopping the clock here.
Not sure what's going on. The goalkeeper is running off the field. I don't know if there's an injury to his hand. He's not moving that right hand at all.
It looks like they're going to swap goalies. So Bingham, who was in net in the first half, is now going to be replaced by Sebastian Lauren. Junior goalkeeper.
Set piece coming up for Hartland. That southwest corner.
It's the one high over to the opposite side, headed by Brian. Trying to get that one in. Good stop by Lauren, who leaps up for it. It was off the foot of Barris. But Lauren, who comes in, leaps up and makes the save.
Lauren comes off the bench and within 10 seconds having to make his first save of the game. Yeah, it was Bingham's right arm. When he jogged off, he wasn't touching it. It was keeping it stationary. In that collision off before the corner kick, there's some type of injury to his hand or wrist or right arm.
As a shot goes wide by Grant Cummins, and he was running off the field.
That's still Trip Tomlin in goal for Hartland.
And Tomlin surrounded those two PKs off of Mancani in the first half. So now Brian pushes down Cummins, and it's going to be stopped as the whistle's blown.
Just a little bit of contact on that. Both teams players are kind of bouncing off each other, but the referee says the other Rice player got the worst of it as he tumbled to the ground and foul against Hartland.
Yeah, didn't like the call at all. Was Brian, isn't it? Brother Rice gets a throw in.
Brian kind of put his arms up in frustration.
Chasing that one into the corner is Garrity. He gets pushed by King. Working back over near the 18, and it went up and into the goal. Into the upper 90. Wow. Impressive work. That was Nicholas Ozzie. That's a 3-1 lead now for the Warriors.
The ball kind of comes out to Ozzie. He's a good 25 yards out in front of the goal, and he just takes that high shot, first shot of the second half for Brother Rice, but it finds the upper webbing of the goal. So Brother Rice extends their lead to 3-1 here early in the second half.
And he was way back into the top part of the net. Wow. Nicholas Ozzie. It's now a 3-1 lead.
I think the Hartland goalkeeper, Trip Tomlin, was just a little bit too far off his line. That shot came off his steal.
As Hartland looks to get it back. Olsen shot, headed up. Brian with the bicycle.
Brian's been very dangerous for Hartland in this game.
Brian gets it back as a throw-in. He looks over, tripped up, was sliding into the goalkeeper as Matthew Barris into Lauren. So Brother Rice back up by 2. Impressive shot by Nicholas Ozzie.
So Brother Rice's first 2 shots of the match were off penalty kicks for that 2-0 advantage, and then Ozzie comes through with the blast from outside the box to put the homestanding Warriors up 3-1. So Hartland will have a set piece way back in their end of the field.
On over here is Hartland as they look to make an attack. Is a whistle called against the Warriors.
So second foul of the second half for Brother Rice, but this puts Hartland about 40 yards in front of the Brother Rice goal, the set piece. Try to find a way to ignite their offense to get back into this game. Down 2 goals once again. Hartland has never led in this contest. They went down in the 5th minute and have trailed the Brother Rice for the majority of the game.
Bryan as well as Price right over there. Official getting everyone set. He's about 40 yards. Bryan. Yes, it's right off the back of the Warriors defense. And they clear it away. The defense makes a huge stop for the Warriors. Olsen in the corner, tightly guarded by Nahum as that one's kicked out of play. And Brother Rice will take over. Hey, soccer players, coaches, and parents, did you know the MSN offers player highlight videos? That's right, we could take your current highlights or come out and record them for you and put them into a video that showcases your skills to get you to the next level. Learn more at the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com at MichiganSoccerNetwork.com.
Feel free to head over to our website as well, as we got thousands of articles about the beautiful game across the state of Michigan. Up there for the last 3 years.
Brother Rice gets it back over here. We appreciate you going over to our website and take a look at all the news and information. As Hayes, this one's kicked out of bounds.
Had a chance to do a short story on Buchanan. Buchanan sits on the Indiana border in southwestern Michigan. We broadcast one of their games early in the week against Niles Brandywine, but they're off to one of their best starts in the program history. Always cool to see, Alex, different schools in different parts of the state that maybe not necessarily be a state powerhouse, but they're off to a good start. The program's been rejuvenated. They got some good young players. Town like Buchanan, a small town, they do have several players playing at different levels of club.
It was headed up, but I think it went behind the net. So I'm going to try it here again. It's been really good to see, the coverage that we provide, not just around here in the Metro Detroit. We've expanded to other areas of the state, and it's been great to see, especially with Buchanan and some of the other schools that we've covered here. Brother Rice was looking to head that one in, but that one goes way up to the other side. So it's going to be 3 straight corners. Actually, just going to be a throw-in here.
Just looks like, just inside the flag there. So deep throw-in for Brother Rice.
One up, and that one goes through. Off the foot of Nick Zielinski, and Brother Rice has really opened things up. They have a 3-goal lead early on here in this second half.
So 3 shot attempts and 2 more on frame. Both of those find the back of the net. Brother Rice extend their advantage to 4-1 over Hartland. There you can see the JV team walking out of the stadium to get warmed up for the JVA game, which will follow the varsity match here at Brother Rice High School, just west of Birmingham, Michigan.
It's right on that border. Bloomfield Hills, Birmingham, and a lot of those schools are in their area, and they're just a couple miles north of Country Day, and then you got Seaholm and Groves High School nearby. Seaholm playing in that OAA red. You guys covered, and you and Giovanni covered that game at the beginning of the season in August, right here between Brother Rice and Birmingham Seaholm. And
Seaholm's been playing some very good soccer here as of late. They did tie Troy Athens, a top 10 team in the state, here about 2 weeks ago.
And we talked about it on Tuesday, Dan, in that OAA red contest between Rochester and Clarkson, how tough that conference is, and so many good teams we've seen in that league, and night in and night out. One hop over to Tomlin.
Yeah, it's one of those leagues that really isn't a weak squad within that conference, and in most cases the last place team will get relegated down to the white division, or the white division down in the blue. But Royal Oak won the OA white last year, but because they graduated most of their starting lineup and a couple key reserves, they asked to stay down. Rochester High was last in the red last year, but they wanted to stay up. They got a great freshman class, 5 freshmen on varsity, all getting a lot of minutes. They've been very competitive. 0-3 in that league right now, but they've been very competitive. And that's, you look at the teams in that conference, Oxford's ranked in the top 10. Troy Athens is the defending Division I state champs. They're ranked. Rochester Adams, player for player, might have the most talent in the entire state of Michigan in terms of players at the club level and players that are going to eventually go Division I or Division II collegiately. That is a stacked roster, but on the field of play, there's just so many great games within that league. Troy Athens handed Adams their first loss the other day, 2-0. Athens graduated 16 players on a 25-man roster.
Brian gets a stop by Lauren. What a huge stop by Sebastian Lauren.
2 big saves for Lauren. He has only faced 2 shots. He just came into the game in the 43rd minute after a collision.
One headed out of play. Trying to do that was Barris, but they're going to call a goal kick here as they got some subs coming in for Brother Rice. And we'll be seeing Royal Oak, and we have a triple header on Tuesday. Royal Oak will be playing at Bloomfield Hills on Tuesday. Rochester will be going to Troy. And then a huge one between Berkeley and Oxford out of Berkeley High School. That'll be a good one to watch. We'll have all those games here on the Michigan Soccer Network, all of them starting at 7 p.m.
Oxford actually won the OA Red Division last year. That was the first time they've ever won that league. They joined the OA back in 2010. They moved up to the OA Red a couple of years ago. But they edged out Berkeley via points, 15-14 in the conference standings last year. And then Troy Athens was third. They went on to win the state championship. Clarkston was fourth. They lost in the district final, but that team spent the first month of the regular season ranked number 1. Rochester Adams tied Clarkston for 4th. They actually won a district championship. Adams had a ton of injuries last year, but started to get their players back late in the regular season. Looks like a follow-up against Brother Rice, but it's just a gauntlet in that league. And you look at Hartland's league, the KLA West, it's the same thing, where other than Howell, you have 7 teams that kind of bang heads every fall and every spring. There's so many great games in that league as well. The Central Division of the Catholic High School League. Other than Toledo Central Catholic, which joined the conference last year, the other 6 teams in that league are all solid squads. You may not necessarily see that in the overall record because a lot of these schools, they're not just in the league, but they'll go out across the state of Michigan to get some very good non-conference games in as well. Warren De La Salle went up to that Traverse City showcase here a couple weeks ago. There was a lot of ranked teams in that showcase. Oxford's been up to Petoskey this year, won the Petoskey tournament. So, teams from Quality Conference not bashful of going out and scheduling some very good teams.
And you got to be able to want to be the best. You got to play the best, and that's what you got to do here, especially for these two teams here on the pitch here today. Is Hartland, a team that had thought they were at the highest of highs, taking down Plymouth on Thursday night. But Brother Rice, a team that really had, the offense was not really there yesterday against De La Salle, losing 3-1. But they're looking to hold on to this for the next 25 or so minutes and put themselves in position to get back in the win column. They'll feel pretty good about themselves before their next game on Tuesday against Saline, and then they're back in Catholic League play on Thursday against U of D Jesuit. Out there by Colin Dobbs, going to the opposite side for Garrity. Couldn't get to that one. It was a little bit far to get to, as Hartland will take over. As goals here in the second half by Nicholas Ozzie. That was impressive by him, over about 25 yards from the net. And a tap in on the doorstep, Nick Zielinski, to make it 4-1.
Foul up against Hartland. This gives Brother Rice a free kick not too far away from the left sidelines near the Brother Rice bench. So Brother Rice up 4-1 here in the 55th minute, but this is a great chance to serve this into the box and try to get a fifth goal.
We're waiting here. Danny Price over at the sideline, coaching against his son on Hartland here today, Cameron Price. We mentioned that early on the broadcast. Kicked up. Down by the Hartland defense, but stayed in. Shot attempt by Crutchmer gets stopped by Tommen.
Tommen's been very active in that box, just 3 official saves, but he's come off his line several times to snare crosses and set pieces and try to keep his team in this game. I mean, Brother Rice came out, their first 2 goals were off penalty kicks. Not a lot a goalkeeper can do on those. Brother Rice, I mentioned in the pregame, they've been a little bit inconsistent here in 2024, but today they have had somewhat of an offensive explosion with 4 goals, and we still have close to 24 minutes of game time.
And you got to be happy if you're Coach Danny Price and able to see how this team has formed here today and played, how they've worked together. And Mancotti got the 2 PKs early on in the game, but then everyone else stepped up defensively. And then you have players like Ozzie and Zielinski contributing to the scoring sheet.
Again, Brother Rice, that district they're in for Division II, it's a very deep district. I mean, Brother Rice could still win it. Orchard Lake St. Mary's was very good last year. Still have some dangerous weapons on their side. Waterford Kettering is ranked in Division II. They were ranked for like 1 week back in 1999 when they were up in Division I. They're trying to go from last to first in the Lakes Valley Conference. So Kettering has been one of the great success stories here in the first month or so of the 2024 campaign. Bloomfield Hills Cranbrook has a new coach for the first time since the late 1990s, and Cranbrook's been in the top 5 in Division II. They're playing some very good soccer. It's a very tough district, top to bottom. Auburn Hills Avondale, they were ranked earlier. They're starting to play a much more difficult schedule. They've taken some losses here as of late, but they graduated, I believe, 8 starters. They have some nice young players that kind of wait in the wings that have played well. They're just not as experienced as they were a year ago.
Yeah, things change, especially when you get on a roll, and then once you get into your conference play, it gets a little bit tougher. And Some of these teams will take some losses and then try to get back up. Hartland won their last 4 games, on the verge of their winning streak getting snapped here today. This Brother Rice team, who has been battling all year long here so far, went up trying to get right near into the middle. So we're not going to get a whistle there. Brother Rice thought there should have been one called. And
there's been a little bit of physicality here throughout the course of this game. Both teams have kind of been waving up their arms in frustration as things aren't being called, but sometimes referees let a lot of things go.
One there, good stop by Tomlin again.
So that is the 6th shot overall and 4th on frame here in the second half for Brother Rice. They have Hartland definitely playing on their heels here in this game. They took that 1-0 advantage in the fifth minute. Have not relinquished their lead. Brother Rice, 8 shots on target, 4 in the back of the net. That's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah, especially with the limited chances they had, especially just those 2 goals on the PKs. And just Hartland has been, they've played well defensively, just those couple mistakes, those cost them here right now. And just Brother Rice has capitalized them.
Brother Rice doesn't necessarily have that one target player up top where they know they can rely on, regardless of the strength of schedule, that might be able to go out and get 15, 20, 25 goals. They just have a lot of balance with some good, solid players from different clubs in the Detroit area. Still a good team, a little bit unlucky losing their last 2, but sometimes when you get in the state tournament, those teams can be sneaky because you have a tough district. They don't necessarily have one player like, we have to mark this kid out of the game. But they have a lot of kids on their roster that can beat you. And today they've put on one of their best offensive displays here of the 2024 campaign. It's been much needed as we're now in the 61st minute.
Yes. Second most goals they've scored in a game here this season. They scored 8 against Toledo Central Catholic when they blanked them on the 22nd. So it's just been a really good showing here. If you're Danny Price and Brother Rice here today, this Hartland team, like I said, won their last 4 games, and for them after this, it doesn't get any easier. They got to go out to Northville on Tuesday. I mentioned Northville is also one of the top teams, in our rankings, and
yeah, Northville's been number 1 here the first 3 weeks of the season. Northville reached the state semifinals in 2021. And in 2023, they have been a strong program since Henry Clemus took over that way back in 1990. But the Mustangs returned 16 of their 25 players from last year, and high expectations have been on that program. A little bit of pressure losing the semis twice in 3 years. So I'm sure Henry Clemus, the longtime Northville coach, would love to finally get his team a chance to play on the final day of the season and maybe come home with some championship hardware.
That one sent over the crossbar by Grant Cummins. One of the many seniors on this Brother Rice team. Second shot, he misfired upstairs.
Brother Rice, we had it inside our Super 50 teams here on the Michigan Soccer Network. Even though they kind of been bouncing around a little bit inconsistent, they're still a very good team. It's very difficult because you have so many schools. I literally had over 100 schools listed on a sheet of paper back in middle July, and I've been trying to pare that down. We ran that list the other day. We have capsules set to go here in the next couple of days on all 50 of those teams. So honorable mentions, we'll take a deep look at Division 3 and Division 4 as well. It maybe not necessarily have many teams in that top 50, but it's just so difficult because there's so many good teams out there now as compared to there was. Like when I played in the late 1980s, there was your pockets. there was good teams, but now it's so spread out. Even schools in northern Michigan, UP are putting together quality teams. There's so many clubs out there, over 230 clubs across the state of Michigan. It's at various levels of club that they offer, but it's just that many more kids are playing soccer, being trained year-round, and it has a ripple effect into the high school ranks, into the collegiate ranks as well, as Hartland looks like they're going to earn another corner kick.
And chasing that one down, Elijah Savage making it up. He's got some substitutions in as Mason Peku comes in, defenseman, a junior for Hartland, and it's just a deeper pool of players and talent throughout the entire state, and it just puts a lot more pressure on your scheduling and who you play. And it's July.
You have teams that necessarily, you look back 10, 20, 30 years ago that weren't powerhouses, but in the last decade they've been putting together consistently very good competitive teams. A lot of that can contribute to a number of quality players that your high school's inheriting from the club game. You might have some very good 2- and 3-sport athletes as well that play and enjoy soccer, so there's a good mix at the high school level. But some of these schools, a school like Northville, it's a large school, it's top 20 in the state in enrollment, well over 2,000 kids, but you only have 130 kids try out for 3 teams, and almost every kid plays at some level of the club soccer pyramid. It's very difficult to, choose 3 teams of RC, JVA, and JVB. But when that happens at some of these power schools, you expect to be good year in, year out.
Exactly what you got to have here to build a program, and especially for Hartland too. They're one of the top teams in enrollment, and
that school has grown leaps and bounds. I remember back in the early 1990s, they were still a Class B enrollment school, which would be equivalent to Division II in soccer. But over 3 decades, there's been so much building out there in western Oakland County, western Wayne, into Livingston County. Schools like Hartland and Brighton have grown and grown and grown so much in that time period. You've seen, South Line East was built close to 20 years ago. A lot of the schools out there, their enrollment's gone up, not down. But on the soccer pitch, like Milford's off to their best start that I can ever remember. Their girls team won their first district championship this past spring, and they had a dream team player. They just have so many kids now playing soccer at high levels out there, and a lot of that can be contributed to some of the clubs. You look around the state, there's some clubs that are just producing very good talent.
And it just shows how much the game has evolved here in the state, and the teams have been developing here. The club teams and the high school teams have been growing as a program. And
yeah, you look just at the Detroit area, the Michigan Wolves and Vardar have been around a long time, Michigan Hawks on the girls' side, but Liverpool International Academy, the Nationals, the Michigan Burn, the Michigan Stars, the Michigan Jaguars, DCFC. You just go down the list. There's so many clubs that have gotten so much stronger. They're expanding. They're maybe, expanding in the areas where there is no club or youth soccer. They're expanding to the point where they might be a small club that's struggling a little bit, but they take that over. They bring that particular club underneath their umbrella as they try to work with, smaller communities out there and areas that necessarily didn't have a ton of players years ago, but have a lot more interest here in recent times. There's another delay here. The referee pointing to where the foul was located.
Free kick here for Hartland, and give credit for these kids, to playing year round and making them ready for the main season here in the fall, and as they look to continue on into the next level, into their collegiate career. And there's a lot of intensity on both sides here today. It's gotten chippy at times, but as Cummins gets knocked to the ground, and Hartland will take over again with a throw-in. Trailing by 3 here.
Down, but not necessarily out, as they're looking to find a way. If they can get a second goal, that might ignite a little bit of a momentum swift, but time is not on their side as we're inside the final 14 minutes of play here in the second half. So, Brother Rice looking to get back in the winning ways. This is a program that's always been successful. You can even go back to the early to mid-1980s when soccer was really starting to get a stranglehold in terms of popularity in Michigan. It's continued to grow, but they got to a couple state title games back in the 80s. When I was a junior in high school at Rochester High back in the fall of 88, Birmingham Brother Rice, they lost in the state finals that year to, I believe, Livonia Stevenson, which started their program in the late 1970s. And Stevenson today is still good. It's been a while since Stevenson has won a state championship. I know they were state runner-up back in 2006. They're atop of their league, the KLAA East. Stevenson is honorable mention in the rankings as of last Sunday night. So you look at they're still getting quality kids. Now the population shift has migrated westward gradually over the last 30 years, but certain schools like Stevenson are still able to get enough club kids in their system to still compete. And it's one of those things where a lot of programs have just gotten stronger. You know, Dearborn Fortson's way better than they used to be. So is Dearborn Edsel Ford. Livonia Churchill has not been as strong as it was, you know, back in the 80s and 90s. Livonia Churchill was a powerhouse, even though they were unable to ever win a state championship. They were consistently a top 10 team in Class A.
As that shot misses wide, and you know, a lot of the schools out there, knowing Livonia, and then Churchill, and you got Livonia Franklin in there, and then schools around there, you know, Westland, John Glenn. And
John Glenn's gotten a little bit better here in the last couple of years, far more competitive. I mean, Novi girls, I think they've won at least 5 titles in the last 20-plus years. They're still a competitive team.
So we're in the final 10 minutes. 4-1 lead for Brother Rice here at home against Hartland here today. Is one kicked out of bounds.
So you look at some of the best teams in the state, and it's got a story come out on the website here in a couple days, but Northville and Portage Central in Division I are ranked in the top 5. Oxford's had a huge resurgence here the last couple of years. They're ranked in the top 10. Those programs have never won state championships. Not that they haven't been competitive over the years. I mean, Oxford was very good back in the 1990s and early 2000s, but then 2010 they moved up to Division I, where the districts are far more competitive. Portage Central, they have been the multitude of Final Fours and regional finals over the years. They've won state championships in girls soccer, never would be able to win in boys soccer.
Brian, this was off target. That's that one way to the right. Was one-on-one with Crutchmer, and
Hartland 6 shot attempts here in the second half, only 2 on target. So if you're trying to come back from a 3-goal deficit late in the contest, you need to start putting shots on the framework. Just a little bit staked, but here this afternoon as they posted a huge upset of Plymouth here earlier in the week. Plymouth again was top 5 in the state the first 3 weeks of the season in Division I.
Zielinski looking to keep it inbounds as the flag gets knocked down, and
looks like a little collision over there. So is that a free kick, or are they going to send a goal kick? Looks like a free kick on the just inside the field.
Hartland taking over again. I want to take a look at the upcoming schedule here on the Michigan Soccer Network. We have coming up in the next couple of days. We'll be back here on Monday for a doubleheader between Romeo and Utica, and then Grand Rapids Forest Hill Central against Holland, and then 3 games on Tuesday night, Dan, all against Oakland County teams, with Bloomfield Hills and Rochester, Troy, Bloomfield Hills and Royal Oak, Troy and Rochester, and Berkeley against Oxford. So a lot of good games coming up here over the next few days.
Talked about that Forest Hill Central and Holland game. Holland was your Division II state champs back in 2017. And the Dutch under Greg Thiesmal have been playing some great soccer here. They're ranked in the top 10 in Division II. They brought a lot of players back from last year's team that won the Ottawa-Kent Conference Green Division a year ago. So Holland playing some very good soccer here in the first few weeks of the season.
It'll be interesting to see how they do here on Monday. As Hartland sends it back over to Brother Rice's end. So mostly the Warriors here today in this one. Looking to close these last few minutes out.
Again, Brother Rice, 9 shots on target, 4 in the back of the net. They were a benefactor of 2 early penalty kicks to go up 2-0. Hartland was able to cut it to 2-1. In the second half, it's been all Brother Rice here up on the scoreboard as they tacked on 2 more goals. Keep Hartland on its heels.
Throw in here for the Warriors. Deep inside is Henry Zanow into the game. Over there to Camden Thornton.
Brother Rice started to sub out some of their starters, give some of their bench players some minutes here in the final 10 minutes. And this is a non-conference game. I've talked to a lot of coaches around the state, Alex, that say when they get to non-conference games, they may start their best 11 with the intentions of getting as many players minutes as possible. Because when you get into conference play, especially if you're one of those power conferences here in Detroit area or up in Lansing or Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids area, wherever that case may be, you're not necessarily going to go play 22, 23 players in the course of a game. You might play your starting 11, rotate 4 or 5 guys off the bench, but these non-conference games are great ways for some of those younger players or maybe players that are on the roster that practice every day, work just as hard, just don't get a ton of minutes. So Brother Rice able to dip deep into their bench here today against Hartland.
Yeah, just able to do that, get some guys that have come in, give them some experience here as you want them to be ready to go, and especially come playoff time. And we're just about a little under a month away. It starts right in that second week of October where things really start to click in, and
you start getting into October, then you have the leagues being finalized. Maybe some of the conferences have a conference tournament at the end of the regular season. Some of the divisions of the Ottawa-Kent Conference, I know the Capital Area Athletic Conference up in the Lansing area does have conference tournaments as well. But what they do a little bit differently, they'll like the Catholic League, they'll pull teams from different divisions into a bracket to have a tournament.
We've seen a lot. Like the Detroit Catholic High School League, they have end of the year tournament or championship at the end of the year.
We had a chance to do all 3 of the girls soccer Catholic League championships back at the end of May.
And then we're there for the boys coming up in October as well. So Brother Rice looking to try to add one more here.
We'll also be doing the Catholic High School League Boys Tournament Championships here beginning of October. That is set for Royal Oak Shrine. Last year there was a switch where Riverview Gabriel Richard volunteered at the last minute to host those conference championships.
And we got another penalty kick coming for the Warriors. It's going to be Mancati. Right near at the tail end of this one. Trying to go for 3, and he does. It's a hat trick for Anthony Mancati. And the Warriors have been led by him all game long. Just been impressive to see 3 for 3 on penalty kicks for the senior here today.
You don't necessarily see one player take more than 1 penalty kick in a game. Mancati takes 3. Each 3 was a different style, different place. And that last one he lined up and then just kind of tapped it to the opposite corner where the goalkeeper made his dive. So Brother Rice in the last 5 minutes of the game will win this one comfortably, barring any late game heroics, with Hartland scoring 4 goals in the last 5 minutes. Mancani's been quite effective. Again, he was an all-Catholic League and all-district player a year ago. He's one of their top returnees. This Brother Rice squad does have a large senior group. Several players played on the varsity last year, which, again, I mentioned they may not have the greatest of record right now, but they are a team you do not want to draw in that first round of the district tournament, because this team is still dangerous. They are experienced at the high school and club level.
Off his hands and into the net. Tomyan couldn't get a hand on it. And it goes over the top shelf. That's Colton Catola to make it 6-1 Warriors. And they're just pouring it on here in these last couple minutes of this game. And yesterday, Dan, we talked about they were just really cold in that game against De La Salle, and losing on the road in that one to our top team in our rankings in Division II. But they came back out here today, putting up 6 against a Hartland team who took down one of the top 3 teams in the state, Plymouth, on Thursday. And anything can happen any given day.
Yeah, that's true across the state of Michigan. Alex, you said it spot on, where there are so many teams that can beat each other. We've seen such fluctuation in the top 15 and honorable mention in the rankings. My Super 50 teams, it's like that list could change about every hour. It's just, there's just so many quality teams out there beating each other. Today is Birmingham Brother Rice's day. No question. They have been quite opportunistic in terms of finishing their goals. 11 shots on target. And Brother Rice has found the back of the net 6 times in this game as we're in the final few minutes of this non-conference matchup. In Hartland, as we alluded to earlier in the game, they graduated 20 players off a roster that was actually a couple games under 500 last year. They've been playing very good soccer here in the first few weeks of the season, but today is not the Eagles' day. So it looks like that should do it.
And that will. The final score here, 6-1 in favor of the Brother Rice Warriors over the Hartland Eagles here today, Dan. 3 goals here in the game for Anthony Mancani. The other goals in the game by Nick Solinsky, Nicholas Oski, who had a huge goal. No, he was 25 yards from the net. And then Colton Catola to add one through. And then Avery Bryan scored in the 33rd minute of the game for Hartland. That's a bounce-back win for the Warriors as they're back up to 500, improving to 5-5-1 as they will host Saline on Tuesday and then UAD Jesuit on Thursday next week. Hartland falls to 4-3-2. They'll be on the road this week against Northville on Tuesday, then Plymouth-Salem on Thursday. But overall, just a bounce-back win for Brother Rice in dominating fashion after losing their last 2 games to Stony Creek and De La Salle and Hartland. Not the game they wanted to have here today after knocking off Plymouth on Thursday.
Yeah, Brother Rice, maybe they showed their true colors here with what they are capable to do out on the pitch, Alex. We've seen that in certain games here the last couple of years where they have looked really good. Today was perhaps their best offensive display of the 2024 season. Maybe they sent a little bit of message to some of the very good teams in their district and their conference in the Central Division, the CHSL, that the Warriors are capable of beating anybody at any given time. So as we kind of wrap things up, Brother Rice looked very, very good offensively today. And we'll see if this will bring better fortunes to the Warriors down the stretch.
Yeah, we'll see. Very interesting to see how these teams will do the rest of the way, and looking forward to what they will be able to do in the playoffs in about a month or so here, Dan. That's going to do it for us here for our broadcast here today at the Michigan Soccer Network. Our final score here, it's the Brother Rice Warriors 6 and the Hartland Eagles 1 here on the Michigan Soccer Network. On behalf of everyone Here at the Michigan Soccer Network, my partner Dan Strickrat, I'm Alex Johnson. Thank you for tuning in to today's game, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Michigan Soccer Network Rankings Show here at 8 p.m. with Giovanni and Dan right here on the Michigan Soccer Network, and we'll see you back here on Monday for a doubleheader between Romeo and Utica and Grand Rapids Forest Hill Central against Hartland. Have a good night, everyone.
Welcome into the first ever MSN All-State Media Day for girls soccer. Jonathan Turner alongside Dan Stickrat. Ball comes in, a good head! 1-0! Shot, another save from Etheridge! Rebound, and it goes in the back of the net. The Bulldogs up 1-0! Burzma, but then for Vlasma! 3-0! Stewart Heights with a shot! Upper 90 and in! Effectively today here on the Michigan Soccer Network, we are launching our new division of player recruitment videos. Mario Canoe now finds Stock. Finds Stock's got a left-footed banger. He shoots it!